and welcome back to another Mindful Manis and Chats video. Today I want to talk about some of my favorite indie brands. I know that on this channel I have talked a lot about some of my favorite brands like Hollow Taco, Isle and Peas, Cirque Colors, etc. But I feel like I have not shed as much spotlight on the smaller brands in this community that I absolutely adore. So I thought this would be a good way and a good time, seeing as though we are still in the Black Friday season, to share the spotlight and feature some of my favorite indie brands in the nail polish world. Now, before we get started, I did want to mention that I'm sharing these brands not necessarily to encourage you to buy, because as we know, I am not really for just consuming for the fun of it. I did just want to share these with you guys because I wanted to show support for some of my favorite brands. And if you were looking to see new brands, see what new things are out there, then I guess this would be a good way as well for you guys to maybe see a brand and look into their catalog if you've never heard of them before, just to expose you to better and brighter things. And then of course, since we're in Black Friday season, if you were to do that, you would be getting a little bit of a discount. But of course, remember that purchasing on sale is still more expensive than purchasing nothing. So please do not feel pressure to buy from any of these brands. I'm not necessarily trying to force you guys to do that or anything like that. I am just sharing because I love these brands so much. And of course, this is not sponsored at all. These are just based on my personal experiences with buying from these brands, and all love. Also, I kind of just got distracted, but you guys, look at my nails right now. They're like little turquoises and I'm obsessed. I saw it on Reddit. But that also brings me to another point. If you're ever curious as to what I am wearing on my nails, please check the description box. I almost always include what is on my nails in the description, but of course, for whatever reason I don't, feel free to comment down below as well. Also, another reason why I wanted to highlight indie brands specifically is because I feel like they are so unique and so creative. Not saying that the bigger brands are not, they absolutely are as well, but I feel like indie brands just have a different air about them. There is just something flying beneath their wings that makes them feel oh so special. I don't know what it is, but I love it. So I did want to start with the brands that I have purchased the most from to the brands I have purchased the least from. So starting in that order, first up, I want to talk about Polished for Days. Polished for Days is a brand that I am obsessed with. I mean, I'm kind of obsessed with all these brands, so that's gonna get repetitive. But nonetheless, I feel like they are so creative and just have a wide variety of finishes. I feel like some indie brands out there kind of focus on the finishes that they really like or the finishes they're really good at. But I feel like Polish for Days really has a bit of everything. I mean, they have magnetics. I love their flaky bombs. They have really beautiful shimmers. They're very famous for some of their shimmers. I'll get into that later. They have a great base coat that I absolutely love. And overall, they just have a very light and airy vibe to them. I feel like every brand has its own little shtick. For Polish for Days, they really like to do a lot of fun and lighthearted themed polishes. So I know the owner, Jenna, is really into Disney and everything, so she's done quite a few Disney themed collections. And me living in Orlando, I love that. I think it is so fun, and I always see her vision executed through the polishes so well. And overall, she just runs a very tight ship. She's been in the indie world for quite a long time as far as I can tell. And yeah, just overall have always great customer service during the holidays. She donates a lot to families in need, and her Facebook group is a great place to be. She gives so much information. She's very responsive. I just have only had good experience with the brand, and I feel like at this point I have over a dozen polishes that I've purchased from them. Just overall, I love the brand. I did also in this video want to highlight a favorite polish I have from each brand, and for Polish for Days, it is the famous Goblins and Ghoulies. You've probably seen this polish, especially if you're around the community when it released. Goblins and Ghoulies is absolutely stunning. It is straight banging, it is amazing. And I will say that Goblins and Ghoulies was purchased through Polish Pickup. Some of these polishes were, just because a lot of these indie brands do participate in Polish Pickup, which if you're not aware, you can see my video that I've made on PPU in the past. But nonetheless, I did also want to note that in general, Polish for Days does not participate in FOMO necessarily. They very rarely have limited edition polishes. Most of their collections are permanent. And when I say permanent, they usually keep them in stock for 1 to 2, maybe even 3 years. So I really like that about the brand. There's not really a rushed feeling to purchase from them. But yeah, overall, I love every experience I've had with Polish for Days, and I highly recommend them. The next brand I'm going to talk about is Polish. This one is a brand that has also been around for a while, and they also work very closely with Polish for Days. They actually have a box that they do, which is the For Love of Polish box. And I've never purchased from it before, but I have purchased from both brands individually, and they produce amazing stuff. I feel like they have very similar interests. Polish does a lot of iconic Taylor Swift polishes, which I am a big Swiftie, so of course I love. The owner, Shannon, is super nice. I love all the themes that she does with her collections as well. She also does participate in Polish Pickup, so you can catch her there. Some of my favorite polishes I've actually picked up from her through Polish Pickup. For Polish, my favorite one I have is Salvador Dali. This one I believe was brought back for Rewind as well, if I'm not mistaken, and it is a crowd pleaser. It is so stunning. I think my favorite aspect of Polish as a brand is that they do absolutely beautiful shimmers. If you know my taste, I really love a shimmer, but the ones from Polish are not super sheer shimmers that I feel like other brands are kind of known for. They are relatively full coverage. They build up on their own very nicely. The pigments that they use are so shifty and just so fun. I love all the different swatches that they have on their page. I absolutely love the brand. It's so fun, and I feel like not enough people talk about the brand. Like some of the other brands I will be talking about in this video, you might have heard from before, but Polish, I feel like no one talks about, and they are iconic polishes, you guys, especially if you love shimmers. The next polish I want to talk about is Lurid Lacquer. This one is a very recent one that I've tried out, but they have easily and so quickly risen to the top of my favorites list. They are an exquisite brand, especially if you love greens. They have only been in business, I think, around 2 years or so, maybe 2.5 years. They have absolutely swung it out of the ballpark, you guys. They have become so iconic in such a short amount of time, and I understand the hype. I did a review video trying them for the first time a couple months ago. I'll put that up in the cards. They are just amazing. Karen, the owner, is so transparent. She donates so much to so many important brands through charity polishes, and just overall has such a good vibe to her. The whole shtick with Lurid Lacquer is that she writes a poem for every polish collection, and then each polish in the collection is named after a line in the poem, and the poems are just so beautiful, and she is just so honest and vulnerable with her brand, and it just feels like an extension of her. Overall, I've heard so much about Lurid, and I'm so glad I tried them out because they are amazing. Especially, I feel like if you love reflective polishes, they do them so well and so tastefully. They also are amazing with green polishes, specifically in my experience as a green lover. My favorite polish from them is actually a green reflective. It is the Fields and Forests of my youth. It is like a mind-bogglingly beautiful polish. I'm obsessed with it. It's like easily become one of my favorite polishes in my whole collection. And yeah, I just cannot wait to keep supporting Lurid Lacquer and everything they do. I am officially obsessed. The next brand I want to talk about is Olive Ave Polish, and this is a brand that you guys have probably heard me talk about and some other creators talk about. I know Stephanie from Polished Yogi does talk about Olive Ave Polish sometimes, and I love that because I think they are such a quality brand. The owner, Walker, is so genuine and just rich with life that I love seeing what she puts out all the time. And her kind of shtick is that she loves color, so I will say that most of her polishes are creams, and I think she excels in that so well because the different nuances and color that she explores in these polishes are best viewed through creams, in my opinion. And of course, their creams are absolutely gorgeous in terms of their application and of course in their color. They are so rich and juicy and just creamy and everything and more that you would want in a cream. So if you were looking for creams, especially in very specific colors, I would highly recommend checking out Olive Ave Polish. My favorite polish from them, however, though, is not a cream, which is very surprising because most of the polishes I own from them are creams, but it is pigment, which is a very rich, beautiful copper, which I've talked about many times on this channel, so I won't get too much into it. But yeah, guys, I love their creams, highly recommend taking them out and supporting them. They are a beautiful brand to support. Next up, I want to talk about Kathleen & Co. I've only purchased from them one time. However, I've been tempted to purchase from them so many times, especially through Polish Pickup, which they also participate in. Kathleen & Co. is such a unique and like edgy brand almost in the way that they try everything. Like they don't just make classic pretty polishes. They have like some true Pruglies, and I say that with the most love in my heart because I also love a Prugly, but they are just so unique, and I love the variety of formulas that they get into. Some of their formulas have like 3+ finishes in them, and they are just so cool to look at. Like visually, they are stunning. The ones I own are absolutely stunning as well. The application is beautiful, and I always look at their offerings when I'm searching PPU just because I know that they put out something super cool like every time. I think currently they have like this really cool thermal with like flakies in it. Super amazing. They are so creative, and I love seeing what they come up with all the time. Their individual brand site also has a nice offering. It's not too crazy, so you don't get overwhelmed with like options, but I think it's around like 20 or so polishes, but they are all so interesting. Honestly, I recommend just looking at the website just to see what Mia comes up with creatively. It is so worth it. My favorite polish from them that I own is Fit for a King. I wore this one kind of recently, actually, just a couple weeks ago. So many of you guys asked me what I was wearing in that video, and it was Kathleen & Co. Fit for a King. It's this bright, juicy purple, and it is just stunning. I absolutely love it. Her formulas are amazing, like I mentioned. And yeah, just highly recommend supporting the brand or just checking out their page because they are so fun. And finally, the last brand that I'll be talking about in this video is Divine Lacquer. I actually reviewed this one on my channel like last month, and I was so happy to share with you guys because it is a brand honestly I hear absolutely no one talking about, which is such a shame because the brand makes some of the most beautiful polishes I've ever seen. One of the polishes that I bought in my first purchase from them has easily once again come to the top of my favorite polishes. They have polishes and finishes I have never even heard of before. Like for example, they have this green holographic shifting shimmer. Like, what do you mean? Okay, first of all, just green. Second of all, shimmer. Third of all, what do you mean green holographic? What do you mean shifting holographic? Like, guys, Divine Lacquer is on another level, and that's why I'm so sad they don't get enough attention, in my opinion, because they are so stunning. They do very limited releases when they do announce polishes. They do a lot of over pours and things like that, just because from my understanding, it just is a one-woman show. However, if you can catch one of her releases, I definitely recommend supporting the brand. They make absolutely insane polishes, and they are so ethereal almost. They definitely have a very light and airy kind of theme to the polishes, but don't get me wrong, they do some darker beautiful shimmers as well. But just overall, I wish I could buy like everything that they release because it is just so stunning, and you can tell that they put so much love and effort into the brand, and I'm obsessed with you guys. Like, maybe just because I just tried them recently for the first time, but I fell in love so fast and so hard. And if you're wondering what the polish is that made me fall in love with them, it is Wind Spirit. Absolutely stunning. I've talked about it in that review video, but I'm just absolutely obsessed. I believe I included my favorite blues, if I'm not mistaken. If I didn't and it was filmed before, I apologize because this one absolutely needs to be in there. But overall, yeah, super unique finishes and color combinations, and absolutely recommend checking them out, like I said, if you can catch one of their releases. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said, please don't feel pressured to buy or anything like that. I'm not really trying to pressure you guys at all for this video. It's just a fun way to talk about brands I absolutely love and wish were talked about more and celebrated more, just because I personally wish I could support them like a million times over. These brands have beautiful catalogs, beautiful people who are running the brands, and just absolutely love the indie nail polish space, and wanted to highlight some of my favorite standouts. Let me know what your favorite indie brands to support are in the comments below. Bonus points if they participate in polish pickup, because I absolutely love trying multiple makers that way. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!